couldn't 사랑해, I couldn't 사랑해, I couldn't 사랑해, my love. Thank you so much, big guy. Hello. And hello. Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I think you heard. Oh my god, I got shocked for a second. I thought
Wow,
I was like,
Abigail just cheered Dex 2 bits.
I'm good. Sorry for saying the same thing, Jinx. But I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here with me. Oh my god, I'm doing good myself. I woke up pretty early and I played a few games of what do you call that? I forgot what that's called. Yeah, it's that game. The game with the shooting thing, Deadlock. Yeah, that's what that's called. Um, and yeah, um, I lost. I lost because of the ping, of course. I sucked at it. I hope you guys are doing well though. How is everyone? Like, how are you, Juniper, big guy? Anyone who may be watching, I really appreciate you guys, all of you being here today. Well, it doesn't really matter if it's one or a few. Oh, yeah, I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the same, Junie. I haven't like, yeah. I've been playing this game on my phone. Ugh. I think I'm addicted to this game. It's called yeah, Outlanders. That's what it's called. It's basically like a island settlement stuff. I like those sort of games. But yeah, sorry. I don't know what I'm yapping about, but why don't we start with YouTube videos? I was Oh, also I forgot to tell you guys. I changed the goal. If you can see the goal, I'm gonna keep changing that every. I'll try to keep changing that every stream. So for today, it's gonna be a dance. So yes, last stream it was a wiggle. Now it's dancing. So I've tried to do that because I think Streamlabs, they require you to like have some sort of, I think it's their way of creating history on the account. So yeah, um there you go. I just I don't know why I'm saying it again, but yeah, let's go to videos. I keep yapping. Um no, 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 no. No, okay. So, sorry, there's a few things here and there. Seems like everyone's talking about Kibulog. Kibulog. I call him a Kibulog because he's a horny man. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry to be saying it like that. I shouldn't be taking it lightly. He fucking took advantage of many people, and I don't really want to start the day with a little bit of you know, news. You know, I don't want you guys having to go through that. So let's go to the lighter side of things. I think I kind of want something more lighthearted, but something that would stress me out as well, you know. Also, my computer's fucking lagging again. Um, okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to my my second home, Australia. I'm gonna be, yeah. I like Australian
Melbourne police
news.
are giving
The reason why I kind of like Australian news is because they're kind of lighthearted compared to the American stuff, given the population of Australia. Like in the Philippines, the news you receive every day is a fucking someone's dead, someone's dead, someone's dead, someone's dead. Like it's like oh, it's like normal, and it feels good to see something like I don't know, something weird or nonsense on the news every now and then. Um, so yeah, I don't know what this program
Melbourne
is about,
police
so.
are gearing up for a day of chaos with up to 25,000 protesters about to descend on a global weapons expo. Live to Sunrise correspondent Tegan Doling. Tegan, how are police going to manage such a huge number of protesters?
Yeah, well, Nat, we're actually a bit surprised when we got down here early this morning because they have blockaded the entire area right around the convention centre. You'll be able to see the blockades that they've put in place here. A lot of frontline police members here already. We've actually got the public order response team down here on scene too, because these protesters are meant to start arriving really from now, with the protest to start at 6. It looks like we do have a few that are just over to my left here. We've also got a car that's been stopped here on the Clarendon Street Bridge. I don't believe it's connected to the protest. I think it was just a car that was trying to get through this blockade, and the police have decided to pull the number plates off of that and stop that. So you can just sense how high the security is around here this morning. The Land Forces Expo is actually going to start at 7 o'clock, which is why there's going to be this pre-dawn protest. We don't exactly know what the protesters are going to be doing. They haven't alerted the police or the media as to what they're doing, other than saying they're going to try and stop and prevent people from getting inside the expo. But this morning there will be major issues with transport, with people trying to get into work, because Clarendon Street here is closed. Normanby Street, just behind the exhibition centre, is also closed, and a lot of the roads around the DFO too, including the tram stop here, which is tram 12, 109 and 96. So if you are heading into the city and you usually come down here past Crown, just have a look at the route, because it will be major disruptions this morning, and we'll be down here all morning to let you know if there's any other areas that are going to be disrupted due to these protests. They're expecting around 25,000 people to arrive, and I can see quite a few more if my cameraman comes down this way. Quite a few more looks like they're starting to arrive down near the tram stop here now, Nat and Shervo.
OK, and Tegan, they've got hundreds of extra police on duty, I understand, from Victoria. Some from interstate, are they?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So they've had to bring in extra resources. These are police members that are obviously been pulled away from the jobs that they normally do. I know detectives that are coming down, people from Wangaratta, members from Wangaratta who we spoke to.
Okay, so basically there's an ongoing thing, and yeah, it's about to attract people. Bye. Thank you. Okay, I want to go here for a second.
We begin in North Africa, where the death toll continues to rise in Algeria and Morocco following deadly flooding caused by torrential rains. Morocco's Interior Ministry said at least 18 people lost their lives in what is described as usually excessively dry areas in the south of the country, with 4 others missing. Authorities said the Maghreb region was affected by an extremely unstable tropical air mass, which led to the formation of violent clouds, causing massive rainfall. Meanwhile, in neighboring Algeria, authorities said at least 5 died in the country's desert provinces. Civil protection and military officers were sent to help with emergency response efforts and rescue families in their homes. Now joining me on the program is Fatna Ekrame El-Fane, an environmental engineer and co-founder and director of programs at Youth for Climate for Morocco. Many thanks for joining us, Fatma. Now, if we look at this particular region, is flooding quite common?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. First and foremost, our thoughts are with actually the communities in the southern province who are currently suffering from the devastating effect of severe flooding. Well, these actually regions, typically known for their dry, arid climates, have recently been experienced unprecedented rainfall, leading to the deadly flash floods. Now, historically talking, floods in these areas have been infrequent, but the increase in intensity and frequency of these events in recent years are linked to climate change. So, for example, since in November 2014, heavy rains in southern Morocco, including regions like Gulmi and Tata, caused severe floods that killed over 30 people and displaced thousands. And this year, recently, the province have again been hit with unusually high rainfall levels, overwhelming local infrastructure and causing significant loss of life and property damage. And recent data,
And Fatma, if we look at the climate and the weather right now, you've talked about it being dry areas. Is there a link with climate change?
Of course, there is actually, and as I was saying, like recent data from the Moroccan Directorate of Meteorology shows that rainfall levels in this region have been actually increased in the past decade by like 25 to 30%. During specifically the autumn and early winter season. So now the flash floods actually in particular are becoming more common due to the sudden and heavy downpours, and this is actually linked with the changes in partners weather. And climate experts actually warn that if no significant adaptation and mitigation strategies are implemented, these events actually will become even more frequent and severe. So yeah,
what are some of the efforts or measures that governments in both countries can do to be able to alleviate the suffering by people when it comes to flooding?
Well, when it comes to tackle these challenges, actually, we must first I'm talking about Morocco must invest more in better floods defenses and early warning system to prevent loss of life
It's in okay,
and mitigate.
sorry. I think I'm gonna have to I think I know what she's trying to say. Um, what was that? I think she was gonna try to say like infrastructure, that's one of the things, and yeah, incident response teams, IRTs. That's a really important thing. I've in the Philippines. Well, a few years ago in the Philippines, they didn't have such departments in the local government, and it actually did cause a lot of casualties. Like think about the hundreds of people dying from landslide and all that stuff. But yeah, incident response can actually scope out the risk and hazards to areas that it could actually point out if it's like, oh, this is risky, we should prioritize them should something happen. Or they could act they have at some cases they actually have the power to like actually like get them out of there before something shit happens. But yeah, that's the only thing, it needs people to put resources on that. I'm gonna go towards Kibolog now. Apollo Kibolog. I call him Kibolog because he's a horny man, like I said a while ago. But I think um, oh, what's his name again? Forgot his name. Oh my god. Um, Here we go. So this will show a couple of things about. Oh, okay, it's short. So 4 minutes. It's gonna tell a few things about him. I'm not sure if he's still active on the FBI list. Um, I don't really want to go there, but he has a website and all that. And I'm sorry, but I've been doing a little bit of yeah, work wise. That I consider that work. I'm like reading his shit. Like I'm just reading his shit and yeah, trying to yeah. He sounds like I find him very he has his way of telling things. He's a really he's a really creative person, I find. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm gonna. I'm good. I shouldn't laugh. In the other hand, he did a lot of things. Um, One of them is yeah, tax fraud. Oh, not tax fraud. Visa fraud, human trafficking, sex trafficking. It's a few things. And honestly, I was gonna be like, oh my god, this I think this dude is able I think this dude is about to leave or something, but yeah. I'm pretty glad that they got him. Um Although yeah, personally I'm not so sure if that's gonna mean anything given the Philippines. So yeah.
Now, police in the Philippines have arrested a celebrity televangelist wanted by both US and Philippine authorities for child sex trafficking. Apollo Kibuloy surrendered to police after a 2-week search of his 30-hectare estate in the city of Davao. He and 4 co-accused are set to stand trial in Manila for child abuse, sexual abuse, and human trafficking. Philippine authorities say they are not currently looking to extradite the preacher to the United States. DW's Anna Santos reported from the Philippines for many years for us. It's good to see you, Anna. Tell us, who is Apollo Kibuloy and how did he end up wanted by US authorities?
Preacher and the founder of a church called the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. He calls himself the appointed Son of God and has over 7 million followers all over the world. Now, it was about 2018 when he was it was about 20 over the world, over 7 million followers.
Okay, that's a dispute. That's a disputed claim. They claim to have 7 million members. That's never been proven. That no one has actually double checked that. A number of sources, especially people who are speaking up, who were like people who left the cult, basically, people are saying that it's actually like 25% of that. I'm gonna mention a bit of people because yeah, I think I'm really I'm really into the whole thing. Um, fortu- um, Fortunately, I was aware like since the beginning, not because I was informed and all that about what he's doing, but rather yeah, I have like my cousins know about it and all that stuff. um it's very common for people to, I mean, I'd say it's common for Western countries as well, in every country around the world. But yeah, in third world countries where there's people who are actually in need, um yeah, they actually like their faith can easily be well taken advantage of by people like Kibuloy. So yeah, unfortunately, that allows these people to be in power. And yeah, I personally think that the Philippines should start getting themselves out of that police state in practice, not just in paper, because that's yeah. This man seems to have taken advantage of all those privileges in order to do whatever he did.
All over the world. Now, it was about 2018 when he was traveling from Hawaii to the Philippines on his private plane when US authorities held him. They found allegedly rifle parts and some $350,000 in
Ooh,
cash stuffed in
cover.
socks. And that kind of like
Look at how he's covering his face here, like as if he never he has a fucking website. Like search that fucking name. His fucking website will come up. That's the very first thing that will appear, I think, or unless I'm not sure now. But yeah.
the alarm for monitoring Apollo Kibuloy and who he was. Then that led to those accusations that you have already listed. You know, there's a long list of child abuse, sex trafficking of children, fraudulent marriages, and eventually fraudulent visas. Allegedly, he was bringing Filipinos over to
Oh,
the
did you send
US
me
on
something, big
fraudulent
guy?
visas
Oh
and
my god,
getting
I'm
them to
sorry. I'm gonna see it after
solicit
this one.
rather cash for bogus charities that he had run.
Boom, bogus
Now, we've
charities.
heard police have been in a 2-week standoff with his followers at the vast church compound where he's based. I'm curious to know how he managed to hide from authorities for so long.
Well, for a long time, you know, under the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte, Kibuloy was considered untouchable. Both of them are from Davao, and he was kind of like a favored or a friend of President Rodrigo Duterte. That's actually how Kibuloy also became.
Okay, I'm gonna add to what she said there. So Kiboloy, given how rich he was, so Kiboloy started off he basically started off from the Pentecostal church. So Pentecostal church is one of the denominations of the Christian religion. His father is a Pentecostal. His brothers and all that. So to look at it, he came from a well-known family. That's how he was able to build his name out there. One day he just decided to leave. He just decided to leave after he's being like told off by other, like his behavior is starting to like get into the whole politics of the church. So yeah, he created his own. And so from there, it seems like he knows a bit of things about media broadcasting and all that stuff, because he eventually leaped into what do you call this, radio. He leaped into radio using his church and all that stuff, then to television. And so he built his whole network, which is the SMNI. So the SMNI, as you can see, media is a very it's a very good tool when you want to influence someone. If you want to, like, look at how I'm using Twitch at the moment. That's how like it's as easy as that. um and it all it takes is the software. So that's the case with Kibuloy, I guess. I'm not sure what I'm talking about at this point, but yeah, during Duterte's president candidacy, well, the president Duterte, the old man, um during his presidency, basically, yeah, he used the SMNI and all that stuff to actually broadcast propaganda, in addition to many other things like false information. And so his reach strengthened when Duterte became president. Eventually they got to the point where they're being cited as credible sources, when in fact they're like making false shit and propaganda. Basically, they're making orchestrated bullcrap. And yeah, it was a big thing back then, because in the Philippines you need to get a license, like a sort of, I think it's the same as any other places out there. They usually have to get a license in order to broadcast publicly on the like on the airwaves. So there's a big broadcaster in the Philippines, which is ABS-CBN. They're one of the largest. They're actually the largest conglomerate for media in the Philippines. Basically, their fucking license got revoked, all because of this whole thing. Because of this man, allegedly. I'm not gonna say that that's the case, but yeah, they were the ones who were able to snag that license when ABS-CBN lost theirs. So that meant they were not able to broadcast to free tele airwaves and all that stuff. They couldn't do anything about yeah, they couldn't broadcast through I think it was both air and oh no, I think it was just television. So fortunately now, everything that Duterte has done, well, the president, is kind of like turning back around because of all of this shit that's happening. But yeah, I personally think that Kibuloy, Duterte, and all that stuff are, yeah, they're somewhat linked, and they have some clutches, like they have some grips inside the whole sphere of politics, like um at least in national, is that, wait, no, at least in the mm, at least in the Senate. That's what I was. The people who make the law, Senate and representatives.
Became very popular. He was endorsing a lot of political candidates, and in the Philippines, endorsement by a religious leader is seen as a vote for that person, and it's also a very powerful tool to get more voters also in.
Now, you've encountered one of his alleged victims. What was that like? Tell us about that.
I was on assignment in the Middle East and Qatar at the time, and I was covering labor migration issues when a child had come up to me and started speaking to me in Filipino, asking me for money. So it was a little surreal. I was overseas, and I said, "Oh, do I hear Filipino?" And the person that I was interviewing was from a rights group, a migrant rights group, and he said, "Yeah, that's a Filipino, and those are the children that are being brought over by Kibuloy to beg for money, and the money is funneled back to him." So
Oh.
this is when we see now the allegations of child.
Okay, as you can see, this is when, okay, so the broadcasting bit is just one tiny story to this whole Kibuloy thing. Now she's going to the allegations in the US. So Kibuloy started that fucking thing here in the Philippines. So that's how they've always made money. Once you're becoming once you're part of the whole thing, once you're part of the church, of their church, you're there's something called a teats. Like it's like a certain amount you're supposed to offer to the church. Basically, yeah. Um if anything, they're being forced to surrender their paychecks if they're making money from outside the if they're working, for example, by a private company or by the government, anything really doesn't matter. If they're working, basically, yeah, they're gonna question you, why are you working? Oh, I have a buffering circle. What circle? Oh, okay, let me check. um oh, I think it's the video ninja thing. Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, what was I talking about? Fuck, you distracted me. I'm kidding. No, I'm sorry, but you did distract me, but I'm just messing with you. I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, um, so yeah, the teeth. They would use children to actually ask for money. They would fake conditions. For example, they would pretend to be handicapped. That's what they call them in the Philippines. Mm. And among other things, they do a lot of things. They would take advantage of talented people, singers, people with voices, like people with actual talents. He would take advantage of these people, maybe put him in his one of his shows on the television on his network and all that stuff, turn them into like, yeah, basically anything. Um as long as is gonna be the one reaping all the profits. And yeah, basically that gave him a green light to smuggle people in the United States. So as they expanded, um they created I think, as far as I'm concerned, they created organizations. So it's not just organization, it's organizations, according to the affidavit from the United States, New York DOJ. What's that? Um okay. S- Uh, so fudge. So one of them is this organization called Children's Joy Foundation. So as you can see, even in Australia, they're kind of like, yeah, they're registered as they're a certified charity in Australia. And that was the case in the United States. So that's how they were able to like basically pass all of those processes that you're supposed to do um to basically check um a person's validity if they're genuinely doing this, doing that. uh I did see that. Sorry, I'm gonna finish this and I'll watch it. And yeah, um they have people in around the world actually. um and yeah, he's seeing himself as, at this point he's seeing himself as a prophet. Oh, like what they call I forgot the term. It's like a myriad. Is it a myriad when they like, let me actually search it. uh I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the term. I kind of forgot the term of it, but yeah, basic, oh, a pariah, like some sort of pariah. That's it. Like he's gonna see himself as a pariah when like that's how his people, like the people in his church. But yeah, the only way that we could do something about it is yeah, unfortunately, if we keep speaking up about it and getting the people out as much as possible and support. That's one of the things I want to advocate for. Unfortunately, some of the people who have left the church, they need a lot of support. They couldn't, some people who leave these sort of places, they are unable to adjust to like the actual world. They're gonna have a hard time adapting and working and all that stuff because of how their brains were formed throughout their years, especially if they were born in that sort of world. Sorry.
Trafficking that Kibuloy is accused of, and how he uses the children, the young women and girls also that he has trafficked, to ask them to beg for money that he uses for himself.
Now, you already mentioned it. Kibuloy also has links to former President Duterte. How did he manage to get so close to power?
Another one.
He was the spiritual advisor of former President Rodrigo Duterte. And as
Best
I mentioned,
friend.
in the Philippines, an
Best
endorsement by
friends.
a religious leader is a valuable election tool. And he has over 7 million followers. He has a YouTube channel. He knows how to use social media
Allegedly
also
7 billion.
for his popularity and his preaching. So that's how he became popular with the public, and therefore also became popular with political candidates who wanted to curry his favor to get votes.
Anna, thank you so much for your insights. That's DW's Anna Santos.
Okay, that wasn't a lot, but yeah, I'm gonna tell you it's way more than that. Um, there's a woman. She used to be. I just want to talk about her because I love her. I don't watch her as much anymore, but she's in the U.S. now. She's one of these people who arranged the fraudulent immigration papers in the U.S. Oh, hi. Oh no, I haven't. Mr. Eggs. That's on Halloween. Why are you gonna? Why are you gonna be? It's I'm also alone today, so I'm scared if I play alone. Anyway, sorry. Wait. Okay, her name is Arlene Stone. That's what her name is. So yeah, she's one of these people that I'm referring to. People who've been people who've been yeah, people who left the cult and they had to adapt again. She's actually an information technology specialist at the moment. Just finished her, I think she just finished her master's. She's a living proof that you can start again. I think that's what I want everyone to know. Like, no matter what you've been through, you can start again. You can start again, and if that didn't work, you can start again. Um, oh, it's about Apollo Kiboloy. Do you know Apollo Kiboloy? Evo? Evo, sorry. Evo, is it Evo or Evo? If you don't know who Kiboloy is, he's a very I think wait, I um yeah, oh my god. Okay, this is a good art. This is a good one. This is a good one.
The matter of
This is
faith.
about Apollo
There
Kiboloy. And basically how he's caught. Now he's caught, but this is the video of
have
him,
been
like
men,
an
many of
archive.
them, who claim to be a new Messiah. And
Oh
tonight,
my god, sorry. I think Big Guy sent me a few videos, but I got distracted by the whole thing. I'm gonna watch
we're
this
going
first.
to meet
Sorry,
three
Big
of
Guy.
them,
I
including
appreciate
one
you.
in the faraway
Send me
Philippines
more
who has
videos.
amassed a flock, he says, numbers in the millions. Poor people who give what little they have
Oh
to
no,
the man.
I shouldn't play this. This is the one I should play.
With an FBI wanted poster for Apollo Carry-On Quiboloy. Now this individual right here, ladies and gentlemen, born in the Philippines, weighing 165 pounds.
Oh my god,
had a conspiracy.
Yes, it is a cult. It is a cult. It's but they were able to do. Thank you so much. I'm sorry if I keep skipping some. But yeah, basically he was a cult that was able to do a lot of things. He even has a private jet, by the way, but I guess that's very common. He's like a televangelist as well, so he has like a big broadcasting network.
To engage in the
I
worst
honestly
forms
think
of
it should be
trafficking
seized
known to man.
by the
Now,
government.
ladies and
so
gentlemen,
they
I
use
talked
it.
about this man a year ago, and a year later, he has actually been arrested by the police, possibly facing
Oh, but cover is cover the face. Oh, look, like he's so embarrassed. Like that's why I. Oh my god, you know why? I feel really sus now. Like, why does this feel weird? Like, why did he cover himself up like that? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, he did. He trafficked humans to the United States to basically fraudulently fundraise for his lavish lifestyle. Basically, that's what the DOJ alleges on their indictment.
extradition for running a literal cult. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know that people like to make like wild true crime cult stories out of nowhere, but this is quite literally a real situation that has involved an individual that has pretty much been incredibly disturbed, running away from law enforcement, and even at times claiming that the CIA
Did he run away? I don't think he ran away.
This guy.
No, so he was in his mansion.
About a year ago, exactly June 24, 2023, I made a video
Thank you, by the way,
entitled
Evo,
it, I was on the national news.
I know.
And it was on the national news for
really
the Philippines,
appreciate you for
specifically
being here,
GMA
Evo,
Integrated News.
Thank you.
Where apparently on the news, they decided to source my Twitter account where I said, yo, someone at Team YouTube has to help the feds or shut this account down.
Caught now.
Actual trafficking priest is running a channel, still reaching out to victims. Less than 12 hours ago. Dude has an actual FBI warrant out right now. To which I showed an actual YouTube channel run or managed, or at least, managed by somebody related to the actual Pastor Quiboloy, where he titled, Satan Doesn't Have Power Over Me. Well, you know who actually has power over him, ladies and gentlemen?
YouTube.
It's Team YouTube. So much so to the point when you contact Team YouTube over on Twitter, they'll just immediately listen. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's up to our attention. And basically they said, update, upon review, we've determined the channel is in violation of community guidelines and has been terminated. So Google actually terminated Quiboloy's channels a long time ago, just because of the fact that this guy actually
So they not only removed one of his channels, but a couple of their channels. So these are like all of the these are all linked to his network. SMNI, that's the name of the network. KOJC is the acronym.
FBI warrant
That's
out
like
on
a
him, and he was an
show, a
actual,
program.
most wanted member of the, or one of the most wanted people on the FBI's list. Now, 14 years ago, you've probably seen like documentaries of him if you've been into cults, where literally it is the son of God. Like this guy is walking around in lavish luxury, and basically, he has
Yeah.
like thousands upon thousands of members that he reaches out to. All right, it's a world of religion where
I
it's
just
like
want to punch him. I'm
absolutely
sorry.
insane. Once you've built some of these mega churches or any of these organizations, the amount of money that you can generate off of the backs of these people who genuinely believe in your cause or genuinely believe in your version of Christianity or any religion is insane. Okay, it's serious big money if you know how to manipulate people. And when you look into the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, which was the organization right over here that we were talking about, this organization's webpage literally discusses the appointed Son of God, which again
Oh,
is
he's
Quibeloy.
checking their website as well. Oh my god, yeah, I'm checking their website. If you actually check, they still have an active website. And yeah, the FBI are trying to arrest him. And okay, so it seems like
The Son
something
of God in
happened.
this situation, which the
SSL.
last I checked,
Maybe their SSL certificate expired, something
with
like
Christianity, that's not something that would ever be given to him, or at least that title, really. And of course, they cover things like social welfare. They have a ministry, and of course, they're a pretty big organization back home in the Philippines. Like, he's so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if you actually look up his webpage and you ask him, the best part about being a son of
that. Oh my
God, the
god,
appointed
yeah.
son, is being the center of
Oh
father's
my god,
affection
yeah,
and being the
I've been reading all this shit, like his story about his like apparitions. Like how deluded do you have to be to like actually believe that shit? And it's crazy because the Philippines are actually eating up this sort of humor. And yeah, it's kind of
apple of father.
disturbing. They're becoming more insensitive towards the subtext of things, which is this is a bad dude. This is not like, yeah. It's like similar to that whole Joker thing. If it goes a little bit different, yeah, it can cause chaos.
Eyes. Why do I say that? Because whenever I'm going through so much oppression, Feds is hunting him down. It's always the oppression. It's always the Matrix with these people. These people are so, in money that they actually wanted to build, or at least had plans to build this kingdom even. This
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
almost
Okay, so yeah, the reason why he's making this bullshit like kingdom is because another denomination of the Christian church or another religion in the Philippines, which is called, fuck, I have to search it. Aish. So it's called Iglesia ni Cristo. It's a church basically. I would say I'm not sure if it's a cult, although some people are alleging this place to be a cult, or maybe they have some cult-like behaviors. But oh, oh no, you didn't
Whoa,
have to,
thanks
Evo.
Ivoki1 for cheering X 200 bits.
Thank you so much, Evo. Sorry I made you fall asleep. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Kisses. I'm sending you kisses. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit shy at the moment, so you couldn't see my face. Oh, yeah. No worries. No, no, I'm just messing with you. You didn't have to though. I mean, yeah, you could look into it, but yeah, if you're still listening, go on. But yeah, if you're going to bed, then yeah, I hope you sleep well. I hope you don't dream about this shit, because it's gonna be it's gonna be fucked up. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna go to it. I'm gonna go back to it. So basically this church, Iglesia ni Cristo, was able to create the Philippine arena with with funding from the church, like with everything that they're building. So the Philippine arena is the, oh, thank you. So the Philippine Arena is the world's largest indoor arena. Um, it's basically something and yeah, there's a whole technology that goes behind it, like earthquake proof sort of shit. It's yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, it's obviously like it's well thought of. It's a well thought of structure, you know. It's because we kind of lack those sort of places in the Philippines where you could hold um large conference, oh well, not large conferences, more concerts, like football stadium level sort of stadiums. So yeah, they were able to build that. And so this is what he's doing. This is why he's building this thing. He's trying to like, oh, you know what? If you can do that, I can do this. And oh, it's gonna be much bigger. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But
Like
yeah,
Ark of Salvation.
it actually like it's still being built to this year. Like they're still building it. They're saying it's done, but yeah, they haven't like actually finished it. Yeah, what a dum dum is what I can
They
say.
refers to,
A dum
which,
dum of a
basically
man.
being this mega structure for this organization. Now, why they chose pride colors in their Christianity religious organization is a little bit, a little interesting. All right, they got a whole rainbow around here, but I'll save that for different people. Now, if you've been following the situation, you've probably heard of an actual press release over here, right? This massive federal indictment that was occurring. So, it's got to be a pretty sour day when people, in your organization have the feds knock down on your door and people are getting arrested in trafficking schemes. Back in 2021, the federal grand jury issues new indictment against a leader of a Philippine-based church that alleges this massive trafficking scheme.
Boom.
So according to Santa Ana, California, a superseding indictment unsealed today's charges the founder of a Philippine-based church and the two top administrators of orchestrating a trafficking operation that coerced girls and young women to basically go to the church leader, under threats of what they consider to be eternal damnation. Now, obviously,
Eternal damnation. So that's the word he uses to this little girls, unfortunately. Let's just say it that way. They are as young as fucking 12 years old. Is the victims that he uses to do the shit with. He according allegedly, he would take basically allegedly, according to this to Arlene Stone, um they would have a pastoral, a group of beautiful women. These women are so beautiful that you could yeah, basically attractive women, beautiful genes and all that stuff. And so yeah, from out of those, um the two administrators will actually probe, basically do like, think of it as a job interview. If you're the person looking for an employee, you made a job ad. So the job ad are the pretty ladies. Woohoo! And now you gotta probe them. You gotta check them under a qualification. So are they a virgin? Have they fucked this man? How many guys have they done the deed with? All that shit. So yeah, these two administrators would allegedly do those. They would ask those sort of questions randomly. In addition to telling this pastoral, they're like the head of this pastoral that are serving him. So from baiting him, giving him his food, ironing his clothes, everything that has to do with the daily lives of being a human, these pastorals would do. Yep. And so after that, when he like at like night, she would at night he would ask for a massage from one of these pastorals. So it's actually orchestrated to be like that. They one of the Once he chooses his employee for the night, out of the many pastorals that he has, he's gonna pick one of them. And yeah, the two administrators will tell the woman like, oh, he's asking for a massage. And so when they do the massage, basically he does this whole eternal damnation thing. If you don't do what I do, you're gonna be under eternal damnation. Uh, like, and yeah, as easy as that. You might think, oh my god, that's so stupid. But yeah, these people are brainwashed into this cult. Some of these girls, unfortunately, had parents who experienced the same thing. And yeah, they ended up like passing it on to their kids. Like, okay, you go there. It's your turn. Seeing this is some good thing. I'm so sorry to say it like that, but that's true. Like, it's the reality of this shit. It's so shit that this is happening. But yeah, I'm so glad that if anything, I'm so glad that it's being talked about in a wider scale. Yeah, because he deserves to be called out. This motherfucking dude fucking wasted his people's money to fucking get some hair transplant bullshit. Like, motherfucking bitch. Like, why didn't you just shave it off?
Actually, this
Oh
is
my
really
god.
disgusting and sick.
I'm
And if you look down
sorry. I
into
was
it,
just
what they
annoyed.
actually mention in this indictment was not just Apollo Quiboloy, but you had 6 new defendants. Those defendants included to be Quiboloy, which was
Key. Sorry, I've been getting
71, who lives in Davao City, Philippines. You had Teresita Tolibas Dandan, who lives in Davao City, all right, who is one of the overseers of their operations in the United States. Helen Panalag, Felina Salinas, interesting name.
Okay, so I don't think it's actually the top two. I think this one are only related in the United States and Canada, in North America basically, because they got money. But yeah, these two are the ones who organize the whole setup, like from preparing their yeah, letting the like oh basically scanning which ones are making the most money, most sales, something like that, like meeting their quotas. And oh, if you're good at fundraising, technically fundraising, but it's all about asking money, doing anything you can. Yeah, they would basically it depends. It's a various things. They could either one of the ways they do is they tell them that they're under, like, they apply for a tourist visa under the presumption that they're doing a performance for church. So there you go, they were able to use the Joy Foundation. They were able to use that as some sort of excuse. Or another way they do it is basically make sham marriages. Sham marriages is very common in um a lot of countries, particularly Western countries. Basically, what they do is they fake a marriage of convenience. They just get married because, not because they love each other and they want to be committed, but because they find it to be convenient, beneficial for each other in terms of financial, doesn't matter. But basically, it's when you try to trick the immigration um that you're married or something. That is what's called a sham marriage. Sometimes they do it because someone is about to pass away, like a grandma, and they want to see someone else get married, like their grandson, something like that. But yeah, in this case, basically the visa processing, the handling of the person to basically getting them settled in the United States. And may I say that they did not only, these people who got sent to the United States didn't have that sort of privileges like any other United States citizen would do. No, they were actually like held there against their will, forced to fundraise around different cities around the United States, particularly in universities, colleges. They know where there's like that they identify that sort of traffic where you'd give money. Sorry, let me just
Gabak Tulan, Marissa Duenas, Amanda Estopare, Bettina Padilla Roses, and Maria de Leon, who are all these individuals who are obviously far older. Like some of these people in their 70s, 50s, 60s, they've been in the church, or at least in this organization, for a long time. So the real thing that really kicked the feds into a hornet, like the feds' hornet nest, so to speak, was the fact that there were fraudulent marriage licenses and these like fraudulent visas being acquired under, again, a false pretense, which is a serious issue in the United States of America, or really the world even, right? Like, it's okay to come in legally. There's no issue with legal immigration. The problem is in this situation, people were unfortunately being brought to and from, it seems, under false pretenses, and they were forced to do, allegedly, some really bad stuff. So, what they discussed over...
These people, okay. He's gonna mention it. I'm sorry I mentioned it beforehand, but here we go. They're gonna talk about it.
Was that Quibeloy, Don Don, and Salinas was participating in a conspiracy to engage in trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion, as well as the trafficking of children. These three defendants allegedly recruited females ranging from 12 to 25 years of age to work as what they called pastorals, or personal assistants. The indictment states that the victims prepared Quibeloy's meals, cleaned his residences, gave him massages, and were required to apparently participate in night duty with Quibeloy. And obviously I'll leave your imagination to wonder exactly what night duty means. The indictment specifically mentions 5 female victims, 3 of whom were minors when the actual trafficking had began. So it was something that lasted for quite a long time. And underneath this indictment, what they said was, under threat of physical and verbal violence, the eternal damnation by defendant Quibeloy and other administrators, they basically were forced to do this night duty because it was part of God's will. Now, if you were a good victim in this situation, right, and especially if you were a minor, it was easy to get groomed in this stuff because it apparently was like visible in this like indictment. It was alleged that if you were good and obedient, you would be given good food, luxurious hotel rooms, trip to tourist spots, and you'd get like...
Yeah, and it's not about that. Like, it's about the consequences they get when this guy doesn't get what he wants. This guy, he doesn't use his hands. He uses his mouth to fucking let other people do the work. And that could be anything from shooting someone's head to fucking, yeah, to fucking abusing you until you fucking give up and just surrender to their fucking graces. Because you're gonna get the good things if you're listening. It's yeah, it's really kind of fucked. I'm sorry. Like, personally, I'm a brat. I don't like fucking... That's why I like Charlie XCS X brat, because yeah, I find myself, I'm a brat. Like, I don't like rules if they don't make sense. Like, rules are made for, like, yeah, it's just bleh. I'm mad.
Like yearly cash payments that were based on performance, which again would have been money that was solicited by workers.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So let me interrupt him again. So the way they're smuggling money without being caught is they're using multiple people, various people, to transfer money to other people, not directly to him, but tied to him. So yeah, basically he'd put random one of his people's followers, they'd put random names there and say, oh, it's for remittance. There's a lot of remittances in the Philippines going out. Oh, going in the Philippines. So, oh, okay. That would bypass the things pretty easy. And they always stay under the they always stay under the limits. They don't yeah, they try not to trigger anything with the amounts they're that's why they have a lot of money. And the reason why he was actually caught and indicted was because he was caught trying to smuggle a couple of $1,000s in Hawaii. He was caught in Hawaii with his US dollars trying to smuggle cash. I'm not sure what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to go to the United States. But yeah, and since then everything tumbled for him.
In the United States. And what kind of money would they be raising in the United States too? Would it be through good and honest hard work? No, in fact, some of the defendants over here, who were also involved in the fraudulent visa situation, were forcing members to solicit donations for a bogus charity based in Glendale known as the Children's Joy Foundation. Donations that actually were used to finance church operations and the lavish lifestyles of its leaders. So when you actually look at the entire website of it, you'll find out that what it links to is CGFI, which is Children's Joy Foundation Incorporated, which again, you know, they always come out with these like really cute, nice, almost innocuous web pages where it's like, hey, we're advocating for the protection of children, you know, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada. Because it's every child's right to be protected and cared for. It's a society's innate
very
responsibility.
pretentious,
I always find
honestly.
in the last like several months investigating people, or in the last year, anytime you protect or, you know, run this protect the children grift this hard, usually there's a really, really sinister thing underneath it.
It's good that someone is talking about it. Yeah, because they're right. If someone is trying to like, yeah, they're it's too like it's too much, you know, basically. Like it like ooh. And I don't know. It's probably because I watch too much of Arlene Stone, but she shows a lot of pictures about how Kibuloy like treats children, like how he oh it's weird. I'm sorry to be saying it like this, but yeah, um it at the same time it's a really convincing thing, like using kids, vulnerable kids, as an excuse to solicit money. That's like that would definitely tug people's like at least a number of people's heartstrings, similar to like how we react to dogs.
Or at least, you know, most times I've noticed that there's some sinister reasoning for being this outwards for it. I don't want to sound like I'm pessimistic about it, but usually I look at this page and, you know, anybody else that comes across this might probably look at this and be like, oh, it's just another charity. Well, unfortunately, it seems that this charity, at least based in Glendale, was centered around literally siphoning money from actual individuals. And, you know, people who would give them like 10, 20 bucks probably thought, yeah, they were going towards feeding these kids or making them have a better life. But in reality, it seems like it was financing this asshole.
Yeah, it was financing his fucking artificial hair. Motherfucking
Lavish
bitch.
lifestyle. And what kind of a lavish lifestyle, you might be wondering? Well, ladies
I'm
and
so
gentlemen, there's been a
annoyed.
bit of actual investigation towards him by one of the largest publications covering this guy in the Philippines. So the actual, you know, organization that has been basically covering him, and a lot of the source for today's video is a group known as Rappler, which basically investigated this guy's lavish lifestyle. And
Okay, I just want to say on behalf of transparency, Rappler was actually being investigated back then by Duterte. They were like trying to like actually yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to do, but they were trying to find a way to basically make the company like make the organization crash down. Because yeah, I have a yeah, this is just opinion now. I think it's because of this. I think it's because of this. It's the same way it's the same way Kiboloy wanted that fucking station that broadcast airwaves license shit.
allegedly, it seems that he has houses that are worth in the millions. So this guy's like a multi-millionaire with allegedly mansions all across or around the United States of America. So for instance, one of those mansions was this multi-million-dollar one in Las Vegas, Nevada. And yeah, it clearly does look like a multi-million-dollar mansion, okay? This is a very nice neighborhood, and this is a very nice house. And how would this person afford such a nice house? Well, allegedly it would be through soliciting donations. Because again, when it comes to the religious money grift, there is a lot of money to be made off of, you know, literally religion, right? Like if you wanted to know anything about it, this is how it works. And the way that they looked at it too was actually went into the open web. They started to look through like actual owner names. So the owner who owned this one property was like the Church Kingdom Jesus Christ name above incorporated. And of course, apparently it was quote unquote sold for like 2.1 million.
That is so confusing. Okay. Church Kingdom Jesus Christ. What? Jesus Christ name above ink. Oh yeah, that is
$1 million. And they dug out like actual like
so that's the places that those houses that you see there, those are the houses they would that you would think it's a mansion, but they actually like, yeah, they house like 20, 30, 40. There's a lot of people they're housing on that mansion alone. And they're all like, yeah, they're all fundraising money. They have to fundraise. Allegedly.
Information where, again, it's the kingdom of Jesus Christ, the name above every, in Van Nuys, who basically had the grant bargain sale deed for that specific home. Now, you might be wondering, okay, Muda, with all of this information out there, right? Obviously, now it's because of all of this. When I saw that, Quebeloy or any of this organization was running a YouTube channel, I was like, man, it's kind of weird how on YouTube it's like sometimes, videos get hit for the weirdest reasons, but then you have like actual like alleged criminals operating so openly. So I brought this up. YouTube decided to shut him down. And as his channels were getting shut down, a whole bunch of other organizations were going after him. So TikTok had actually affirmed another ban on Quebeloy, and that was because of apparently US sanctions. And even Facebook, Instagram, Meta as a company decided to take down some of his official pages because of, again, those US sanctions.
Yeah, see, that's how it's disturbing, right? How he was able to like take advantage of that. Like even even the United States, he was able to like infiltrate with this bullshit. On behalf of the Philippines, well, I'm sorry because bitch, that's his fault. Like, duh.
And when you start to look at like Google's banning
He's on the fucking bottom island. I'm like on the top island. On the top. I'm not comparing anything in class top to bottom class, but I'm just saying Davao is on the bottom bit of the Philippines. So yeah. I just wanna remove myself from this whole dude. Cause yeah, I was young back then. I keep on seeing his channels, and yeah, it's so it's similar to that feeling when you're watching. So this is where Davao is. So Davao is in here. I'm sorry. I just wanted to show that to clarify things. That's where Davao is. Okay, sorry.
Obviously following those US sanctions and whatnot according to their terms and policies. You might be wondering, how does a guy with this much negative attention in the eyes of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the US government, really a lot of the civilized world, get so much protection? And a lot of it was really due to the fact that he was really good friends with this guy, Rodrigo Duterte. Post this guy's presidency in the Philippines, he basically returned and kept a low profile. And according to, people who researched into it, he basically got a pretty cushy job resuming a weekly show, Gikan sa Masa, Para sa Masa, for the masses, on SMNI, which again is the broadcast media arm of that entire Kingdom of Jesus Christ. So this is how large the operation is. Multi-million-dollar homes, lavish luxury, and again, the ability to have your own broadcasting wing. It's like looking at people like Kenneth Copeland, who I believe like is worth way more. And you got these people flying on private jets. It's like, at what point do you go from like a servant of God delivering a message to somebody who's just clearly in it for the money and enriching themselves and really not spreading the message properly? It's more of an insult to religion, right? Like, you gotta sit down and have a big discussion about this with like somebody like Wendigoon, and really, if you think I'm mad, I'm pretty sure like Isaiah would be like fucking livid looking at this stuff. So anyways, what he talks about is co-hosted by Duterte's friend and spiritual advisor, Pastor Apollo Quebeloy. Duterte would speak about current political issues besetting the country. Some of his strongest statements in the show, such as his opposition to the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement sites in the Philippines, attracted attention and were covered by the media. So yeah, this guy, former president, big friends with this guy, used to be one of the biggest people protecting him. But obviously, things had started to change. So obviously, as leadership started changing around, the new guy in the block, Ferdinand Marcos, the current ruler of the Philippines, also a controversial figure in their own right, decided to deepen their feud at this point. And of course, they decided to go after the pastor, Quebeloy, in this situation. And this is when a lot of those old wounds started to be brought up, because at the time, Quebeloy was basically being protected by the government, allegedly, at the time. And obviously, a lot of the evils in the world usually are allowed to happen when the governments can be involved and effectively tell you and basically cover for you. He was not getting extradited. The US government really had no reach on another foreign country that had their own independence and their own actual sovereignty. It's not how law works, right? Just because the FBI wants you busted doesn't mean it's going to happen if the other, country doesn't want to do anything. It's why when you're a convict, you could run all the way to countries like Russia, for instance, that have no extradition agreements with the United States, and they're not really going to do anything to give people up because they don't have to, all right? What is the U.S. government, what is the FBI going to risk war or an international incident because they want a person? No, they immediately get shut down back home anyways. All you can do is cry and bitch. But what you can do is hope that in the back home, things start to change against him for the worst. And actually, it really seemed like it did. So 6 months ago, I made a video where he was basically going out of his way to tell people that the shadow government is hunting him down.
Sinosurveillance ako dito sa Pilipinas.
Oh, this is a whole lot of bullshit. That is a whole lot. This is a whole load of bullshit. This is him trying to orchestrate shit.
Ng CIA at ng FBI. Sarili kong bansa, ako po ay nagtatago. Wow. Sapagkat liligwakin ako ng ganun-ganun na lang. Wow. Walang extradition process na gagawin. Dumating po sa aming kaalaman sa mga sandaling ito from reliable sources. Correct me if I am wrong, but these are reliable sources na dumating sa akin na ayaw na raw po nila ng extradition treaty. Ang kanila daw pong gagawin ng CIA, ng FBI, ng US Embassy at State Department, kasabwat ng ating gobyerno, ng Pangulong Marcos at ng First Lady at kung sino pa man ang nasa gobyerno, ako ay rendition ng kanilang gagawin. Ang rendition, ang ibig sabihin po, anumang oras pwede lang pasukin ang aking compound at ako ay kidnapin. It's not only rendition, but also
kidnap my ass. Bitch, you're fucking under arrest, bitch.
So elimination. God. If it is possible, pwede nila akong i-assassinate.
Now, obviously, do I believe the Central Intelligence Agency was out to assassinate him? I don't know. Probably not, to be honest with you. I don't think that was going to happen. But what was happening was that
I'll assassinate him with my fart, bitch.
Tides were turning because of the new leadership that I had discussed with Marcos. What had effectively happened was, again, a manhunt had ensued. Especially, 6 months ago, around when I was covering this guy, a manhunt had started. So on December 11, 2023, one of these Senate resolutions, number 884, were filed, where they were opening up the books looking at the actual cases of human trafficking by the Kingdom of Jesus Christ and, Apollo Quiboloy. So again, introduced by Senator Risa Hontiveros.
Woohoo! That's my sister. Kidding. No. What do you call this? Yeah, they've been asking for him to appear to give a response, but obviously they gave him a lot of chances, but he never showed up after the Senate, because the Senate are just there to build laws. They're not really there to arrest. Someone else will be arresting him, but it won't be them. They're just having to they just want to make laws to make sure this doesn't happen again.
What they basically wanted to look was the expanded Anti-Trafficking Act penalizes the recruitment, obtaining, hiring of persons by means of fraud, deception, taking advantage of their vulnerability for the purposes of exploitation. So they say Apollo Quiboloy, who styles himself as the appointed son of God and the leader of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, the name above every name, allegedly demanded strict obedience from his full-time followers through brainwashing, psychological manipulation, and constant threats of eternal damnation. And what they mentioned was also what the FBI said. They allegedly maintain a stable of women called pastorals who occupy this prestigious position because they're tasked to perform those night errands with him. Some of the pastorals were still minors during the recruitment and during the period they were made to perform any form of night duty, it seemed. So here they even reference the federal grand jury in California that indicted in 2021 Quiboloy and the members of the KOJC. So obviously this is something that, the government decided to take more seriously. And when your own government is starting to open the books like this, it's not looking really good for somebody
not
like
looking for
Quiboloy,
good for
and
him.
it should. So
I
unsealing
mean, what he did wasn't good at the first place. Let's just say that. Like, let's just focus there. Like, whatever shit he did, like, that's not good.
was requested by the U.S. Attorney Criminal Division handling his case, which includes those multiple charges. So according to a New York lawyer, this could be the first step in initiating what would they call the extradition process in the United States. So basically asking the Filipinos to deliver this guy over to the United States for his crimes. Now that the arrest warrants for Quiboloy and the co-accused have been unsealed, Interpol may now issue red notices for their names to be put on notices. And that's when the Interpol can go around and arrest this guy, depending on where they operate. What happens is that the name of the person listed on a red notice is placed on a lookout list. And when the name of the person listed comes into the attention of law enforcement abroad, the NBI in the Philippines will notify through Interpol, and the U.S. federal prosecutor will then request that person's provisional arrest and or file a formal request for extradition. Basically making it so that you can't really travel, in a lot of the world at all once you have a red notice on you, okay? It's basically like the ultimate death sentence, the ultimate bounty, the ultimate 5-star wanted rating, okay? That's it. It's done. You're Jover. Even his biggest friend and ally was just like, bro, just get yourself arrested. He's like, is the advice of former President Rodrigo Duterte to his friend and spiritual advisor, who will be cited for contempt and arrested if he does not appear before a Senate committee hearing. So yeah, our buddy Quiboloy was effectively on the run and hiding from Filipino law enforcement. What triggered to be one of the longest manhunts that I've seen.
Sorry,
regarding
I'm
a cult
gonna,
leader,
like-
okay? And thankfully, when I say longest manhunt, it hopefully ended without turning into like Waco or something, it seems. Now, it was so huge that according to, again, Rappler, 2,000 cops were sweeping the actual Davao.
It was kind of scary at the same time, yeah, because you would, like, they were saying, well, this, like, on the internet, like, there's a lot of people saying that, they have guns and all that shit. Given the situation of like, Davao is technically still an island. Other, like, majority of the country and its resources are in Luzon, which is the island up north. So there's a lot of what do you call that? There's a lot of people, like, organizations, MNLF, MILF, not the nasty MILF, but there's an actual MILF in the Philippines where they're kind of linked to the Abu Sayyaf and all that stuff.
Compound in what they consider a large-scale manhunt for Quiboloy. And there is some footage of this that you can watch right now provided by Rappler, where again you can see all these cops lined up waiting to serve all the warrants and arrests and notices that they have to. Of course, the situation didn't just stop there. As the cops got involved hunting this guy down, it came out, according to Rappler again, that there were actually victims, 2 victims, that were apparently alleged victims that were recovered from this compound. Now, the only really, interesting good stuff that came out of this was the rescue of 2 alleged victims in the story, okay, from this parent compound. So according to, Rappler, they said that a woman and a man were rescued and brought to the Women's and Children Protection Desk for the Philippine National Police. What they basically told was authorities searched for the young man after his worried parents sought police help as news spread around the extensive manhunt for this fugitive preacher. And this was a 30-hectare property. And of course, that whole manhunt began on Saturday, and the police were again at the same time hunting for Quiboloy in this big manhunt. So you can see images of the actual compound, the police are literally at these crazy gates. They got them looking like the pearly gates to heaven almost. It's insane, dude. It's like being in another world. It's wild. It's because normally if I wasn't because of a most wanted poster on a YouTube tweet, I've literally been absorbed in this entire story, watching this literal cult on the other side of the world, a country I've never been to. Now I want to go to just to see this kind of stuff.
Excuse me, you'd want to go there. We have beautiful
them, right?
islands, and we're beautiful. The girls are beautiful in the Philippines. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Gosh.
So according
You'd
to
be
the
drooling
lawyer,
for
it said
them.
that Quiboloy was not just
Bitch.
arrested, he surrendered to the authorities because I guess he wanted to play with the Son of God. And this is apparently Quiboloy with the whole mask on and everything. One of the good questions that asked, why hide the face?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like they're using a fake one instead of Like a
Everyone knows him
decoy.
already. I mean, that's a pretty good point. Like, why even hide the face at this point? But if this is Quiboloy, he's been arrested by the Filipino government. And obviously, the United States government, I'm pretty sure, wants an actual extradition at this point. So, you know, a year ago, I made fun of this guy. I called him out. And I honestly did not expect, in a year difference, that the tides were going to turn so quickly that he would end up actually being arrested for some pretty heinous crimes. I thought that because he had the protection of the government, he was pretty much going to live the rest of his life.
He had the protection of the previous government, like the previous executive government. The beauty of our the Philippine government is there's multiple branches that make sure that no one could actually like take advantage of it, similar to what happened back then. So yeah,
Life in lavish like luxury.
Oftentimes they're like arguing, the Senate representatives, executive, and all that shit. They're like they're kind of like debating, which is, I think that shows a healthy sort of like, you know, government in a way. But yeah, we do have pests as well. A lot of pests. You gotta spank them.
The biggest piss off imaginable. But obviously, sometimes, you know, God, well, what am I going to say? God works in strange ways. And I'm sure that God didn't enjoy this guy pretty much. Pretty much ruining the good name of religion, I guess. There's got to be some karma here, right? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. There's got to be some good karma that's dropped into this. And ultimately, that's the end of the Quiboloy story. I don't think that this guy's going to get out. I think that both governments, the United States and the Filipino government, and I'm pretty sure other governments too that have a valid claim, have such a hard-on for this guy, and he's lost all his political and, like, you know, executive, like, you know, legislative protection, that I think he's going to be fine. I think, not fine. I think the governments are going to be fine hunting him down. I think he's screwed. And honestly, if he's really guilty of the crimes that he's been alleged of, then I hope they bury this guy under the jail. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, wildest story that I've had to see in quite a long time. But I wanted to bring this to you. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, don't run a cult. Don't traffic human beings. That should pretty much be a given. Anyways, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.
Sorry, it was a long video, but what do you guys think? Was it yeah, that's shocking, isn't it? It's not 7 billion though. Don't be surprised at that 7 billion number, because it's not really 7 billion. Probably like let me think. Probably they're around 20,000 now. Like in Australia, at least, I'd say there's like 1,000 of them. Or maybe on the 500s from my observation. Okay. Now I'm gonna check the video Big Guy sent me, because I'm so sorry. I'm not really looking at my Twitch on my computer.
Politicians and the media always pushing the things that separate us, things that make us different. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. Anything that's different about us, you know that's what they're pushing at you. Racial differences, religious, ethnic, national backgrounds, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything they can do to keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs. Politicians and the media.
Sounds like the United States in a way. You guys got a lot of I mean, even here, really. I don't really know. I couldn't like, yeah, yeah. I couldn't really like, yeah. I don't know how it works in the United States. I find your tax system confusing, if anything. Like they should work on that. Like Australia only has like Australia has only the ATO. They don't have to like it's the ATO who will be like making taxes for you. That's it. As for the politicians, yeah, I guess that's how it works in the United States. In it, like they're all fucking rich. It's also crazy how like coalitions happen. Like that's so weird. Like wouldn't that like disseminate the whole point of the government and all that shit? Yeah, sorry.
The facts about the U.S. that may surprise you. The hottest air on Earth is recorded in Death Valley, California, at 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Hawaii is the only state whose borders don't have a single straight line, unlike all the others.
Apparently
The southernmost point of the USA is not in Florida or Hawaii, but in American Samoa. Alaska is a huge state, about 20% of the U.S. territory, but less than 1% of the total population lives there. Moreover, Alaska is the most western, northern, and eastern state at the same time, as the 180th meridian crosses Alaska and leaves part of it in the eastern hemisphere. Some small part of Minnesota is completely separated from the rest of the state by a lake and surrounded by Canada. Nebraska is the only state
Yay, USA, a
triple
little
landlocked
cocky.
and equally distant from all
Always
oceans
wants
by
the
state
ting,
count.
ting, ting,
The city of
always
Washington
wants
is not in
everything.
Washington state. Mount Mauna Kea is 13,800 feet above sea level, but if you measure the height of the mountain from its base to the top, it's taller than Mount Everest's height above sea level. The facts about the U.S. that may surprise you.
Hmm. Let's see. Oh wow, you're gonna show me something. Poverty. Yeah. This is the slums in Manila. Oh, sorry, I heard buduts. Ay, mga auntie, chismosa. Ay. Hala. So that's what's called a sari-sari store. I think I mentioned sari-sari stores before. That's a sari-sari store. On the side. I think they're also selling some clothes here, or maybe that's laundry. I'm not sure. It can be confusing. Which one? Whoa! Just have... No, she doesn't. It's just her neck. Obviously, she's on her, like, phone. You know when you're looking on your phone, you look like you're, You know, the... You know? Don't you see that? Oh, which woman? Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, she did. Um, what they call this? Yeah, I feel
FBI.
shit. I feel shit that people think this is something like I don't know. A lot of people are thinking this is a lot of people are seeing this and like, oh, this is it. This is the way it is. No, 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 because that means you're fucking. Are you gonna accept living in this bullshit? Like, yeah, that's way crazy. It sucks that no one's at least like I don't know, like helping, I guess. Helping them.
North Korea has their own time zone. They have their own calendar. They have their own race. I'm not an Asian. I'm Kim Il-sung race. I never seen a map of the world. They don't tell me I'm Asian.
But can't you also be Asian?
I don't.
They need more than a garbage cleanup. They need a system to like to be that, and that takes responsibility, resources, time. I think another people say it's drugs as well, but I don't think so. If anything, they're selling drugs by choice. These people are selling drugs by choice. They're not selling drugs because they consume it. They sell it because they're seeking that they need money. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, in the Philippines, garbage, they don't, most of them don't, most local governments don't use incinerators and all that stuff. So they'd be, what do you call that? Yeah, they'd be putting them in landfills. I've seen large landfills, like as big as an fucking mountain on the side of the road, like a highway, you know? Like it's about to topple at any second. And you see the small humans.
They don't know what Asia is. They don't show us the map.
Wow.
They don't know what the world looks like.
Let me tell you something. You're Asian.
North Korea has their own time zone. They have their own calendar.
Am I Asian?
Have
Yes,
you seen
I am.
in the Trump clip when he's asked about his favorite Bible verse?
Oh, I don't want to see bullcrap like that. Have you got more videos, big guy? Sorry, I'm just gonna have to like move over to my thing here. And before I continue, I'm just gonna be moving. I noticed that Twitch uses a lot of memory. Or maybe it's my browser. Okay. I'm gonna be doing my Duolingo first,
Back?
so I'm gonna shut myself
Welcome
up.
back. Sorry, that song's been stuck in my head ever since I saw that TikTok of people lining up for breakfast at Crumble Cookies. Still haven't tried any yet, but I did have a dream about them. Dream analysis? What that mean? So, coffee drinks, eh? Having some sort of beverage to start your day is an important part of morning culture routine, as coined by home decor signs in upper middle class suburban households. Meep. Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. These are typically found in the kitchen next to the giant "Let's eat, mangiamo" sign. Oh, I thought that was the stove for napping on. But I guess we can do that too. One of the benefits of living in a consumer society is the overabundance of options, especially with drinks. 10 kinds of apple juice, every fruit smoothie, 20 variations of the same type of coffee drink, or even bottled water with different types of microplastics. I feel like I would have a heart attack if I attempted drinking every item on a coffee shop menu at least once. For the majority of people who work the grueling 9-to-5 schedule, they usually go for something caffeinated to fuel them throughout the day. Once you start paying bills and the realization hits that you have to work for the next 40 years of your life for something, the bitter, yucky beverage your parents put down before heading out has suddenly become your drink of choice. You've become the "don't talk to me before I've had my coffee" grown up now. Some can't even start the day without a hit of caffeine running through their bloodstream. I fear I might be one of them. But hey, as long as you don't get addicted, you should be fine. It's just coffee, guys. Come on. This black little bean thing can't control me. Although I really can't be skipping my pick-me-up after lunch. Can't be falling asleep at work, right guys? Oh, and maybe a little treat after work because I have errands errands to run. Oh, and just one more nightly shot of espresso. Can't be passing out at 7 p.m. and waking up at 1 in the morning in a sweaty, confused state. Hey, wait a second. I think there's an untapped market here, said every billion-dollar corporation CEO with a black spinning office chair and a white cat in their lap. How can we make something that's already addictive even more addictive to the easily marketed towards younger generation? Well, other than illegal substances, sugar's probably the next best thing. And if we market our drinks based on how they look, cause, you know, everything's about appearances nowadays. Plus, we don't have attention spans anymore. This gives us a higher chance of capitalizing on it when it goes viral. We feed the influencers feed us by showing their followers our ridiculous looking products, and voila, we've created caffeine-dependent loyal customers. So we've essentially swapped out black coffee and normalized super sweet caffeinated drinks as a part of our regular daily routines. At this point, do you want some coffee with your cup of sugar? Normally I'd be like, hee hee, that funny. But after seeing a Dunkin' Donut employee post their drink making process, I became one of those concerned citizens.
How about sugar? I said. How about sugar? Anything with sugar? I said. Hey. Oh my god.
At the town hall. Won't someone think of the children? That doesn't sound right.
Why are
Dunkin'
you
Donuts
annoyed
is
about
an
the
American
circle?
multinational coffee and donut company,
There you
as
go.
well as a quick service restaurant. It's a brand that's popular with millennials and the Gen Z crowd. From the bright colors in their logo to their
hope that's
even brighter
gone.
colored donuts.
I
Their
couldn't
marketing
see
is fun,
my
their drinks are
render.
affordable. You can get the most bang for your buck here if you're looking for iced coffees that come in big gulp sizes. They've collabed with TikTok influencers and rappers to make specialty signature drinks, and even hired K-pop idols to be their brand ambassadors in Asia. And Hyphen must have taken a page from Sakura's book of doing random side quests. From what I've seen on social media, Dunkin' is known for their drinks more than anything, especially with people sharing their drink orders like some sort of potions recipe.
I get a medium iced coffee with 2 vanilla bean. It has to be vanilla bean, not French vanilla, not regular vanilla, vanilla bean, and then 3 creams.
And employees will show themselves making said drinks. This is supposed to be—
Oh my god, I do the same. Like whenever I order those, I don't order those a lot, but you know, whenever I order those sort of coffee, like iced coffee, for example, I always ask for like 3 shots of vanilla, something like that. And I remember when I was working at that stressful job where I was fucking calling old people and checking in on them, that was making me really depressed. I think that got me really depressed at like some point. Like I started drinking coffee like four coffees, large coffees. Ooh, that was like just to get myself like that was fun.
Be an original iced coffee with a few modifications.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Oh wow, that's crazy. That's all sugar, honey. Honey, that's sugar after sugar. It's just sugar on sugar on sugar.
Oh, they've taken the 1 cream, 1 sugar drink ratio too literally. At this point,
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Like fucking hell! You may as as well eat sugar. I do remember when I was younger, like, you know, rice? We mix it with sugar and Milo, like and then it actually makes this paste when you mix it, and that's so good. But wow, that's crazy. 14. Oh, wow, that's diabetes. You're inviting diabetes into your fucking house. Like,
The
hello.
coffee's just an
Wake
afterthought. It
up.
hasn't even been added yet.
Oh my god. See, it wouldn't even.
Are we sure Samantha isn't a bee? I think the W in her name stands for Wonka, cause that's a Wonka sugar. Nothing quite like drinking 30 chocolate bars at 6 a.m. before heading out. This might be the secret to getting all your work done in the first few hours, and then crashing at 11 a.m. And not to yuck anyone's yum if you have a sweet tooth, but even sugar lovers can agree, that drink has not been cooked properly. I know the first sip is gonna taste like gritty, aspartame magnetic sand, as Sir Gordon Ramsay would say.
This is wrong! Oh my god. This is wrong!
When ordering something from a fast food place, the last thing on your mind is the nutrition label. We already know that the food isn't the healthiest, but sometimes you just need something quick without breaking the bank. An iced coffee under $5 with as many modifications as you want, that is the true value meal. Cause those drinks probably have the same amount of calories as a burger. These Dunkin' Donut drinks look
Oh yeah, that would be like, I'm assuming that's 5 cents per spoon at least, or per, I don't know what the fuck that was, but I saw 12. 12 sugar it said. So 30 cents per, or maybe 10 cents, say. That's still a lot. Like, that's like $1.20 sugar. Like, you could get like a lot more sugar at the grocery if you actually like think about it. I think sugar only costs like $2.85, $1.80. Raw sugar, $1.80. You wanna be fancy? Go CSR. White sugar, $1.95. Castor sugar, $2. Wow. Palm sugar, oh, that's better. That's Oh, 500 grams, $3.50. Yeah, what the fuck?
like regular iced coffees on the outside, but seeing the process will show you how insane 15 pumps of caramel, 12 sugar, almond milk, less ice actually looks.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You ever just crave a cup of caramel with ice? Can you even taste the coffee at this point? I am kind of curious though, can I just have a sip? Even that piece of ice was scared of getting diabetes 20, it yeeted itself off the table. Too much ice. Well, yes. I don't think that's the problem here, but sure, too much ice, -1 piece. Don't want to water this down too much. What if we can't taste the 12 sugars? We all taste things differently. If you're used to eating a lot of sweets daily, this level of sugar might taste normal to you. Is Christine still with us after this drink? It's okay. The almond milk cancels it all out. Is Christine getting almond milk because she's lactose intolerant? Because that caramel syrup is gonna do her in before any type of dairy milk does. And I'm not saying we should demonize sugar or cut it out completely. It's actually a great invention for making our lives better. Gives us something to look forward to after the main course. A meal isn't complete without ice cream or bubble tea at the end. Don't worry, sweet treats here and there won't be the end for you. But if this Dunkin' Donut coffee routine is something you're doing every single day, then I'm worried for you. We get multiple drinks like this a day.
All right, here we go again. We got a medium iced coffee, 8 butter pecan, 8 caramel, 7 vanilla shot, 9 sugar, 9 cream.
Girl, when I was managing a Dunkin', we had someone regularly order a large iced coffee with 8 pumps caramel, 8 pumps French vanilla, 16 sugar, 16 cream. She got a dollop of coffee. When I worked at a Dunkin', I swear all of the drinks were like this. We also had one woman do 8 Splenda, 8 sugar, 8 caramel. Like, why even get Splenda at that point?
Yeah, if you add up all the Splendas, wouldn't that taste just like sugar? Because like a Splenda is supposed to be like, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking my mouth out. I don't know.
Mi gente, no, por esta se sacó la loto. Miren esto, mi gente, la semilla.
It's just simple caveman psychology. If something tastes good, we eat more. If sugar make dopamine, brain want more. That's why the composition of these iced coffees are overloaded with corn syrup, sugar, and caffeine.
I'm scared that we're gonna get to the point of snorting the fucking sugar in the kitchen. Oh my god, I hope that doesn't happen anytime soon. I hope I'm not giving anyone any ideas. Please don't do that, okay? Don't do that, please. Oh my god.
To keep you coming back. You ever get a pumpkin swirl frozen coffee from Dunkin' before? Well, this guy has, and he is not happy about it.
My friends, this is a pumpkin swirl frozen coffee. Who the thought it was a good idea to put this on the menu?
Oh my god. Very aggressive, not demure.
Because this drink has 185 grams of sugar in here. How much is it? It's...
I'm scared. I'm scared of his eyes. I'm scared of his eyes. Why does his eyes look scary? I'm like, I feel weird. Like
This
it feels
much.
like it's staring to my
46
fucking
teaspoons of sugar.
Oh my god.
To give you another
It's
perspective,
like it's staring to
the
my
amount of
heart
sugar
or
in there
something.
is equal to 14
like-
glazed donuts. Plus, there's no pumpkin in here. It's artificial flavors. There's 12 mentions of sugar and high fructose corn syrup in here. There's 930 calories and 194 carbs. 2/3 of us are already type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Those poor people from the past thought we'd have flying cars by now. Sorry, we got giant coffees instead that are basically like drinking a box of donuts.
I mean, it
Actually,
will look
someone from
like
the
cars are
1800s would have
flying,
loved this, although
at
the
least.
mortality rate would have been astronomical for this drink. A lot of us are probably sugar and caffeine dependent without even realizing it. It might have even happened when we were kids. Does this food pyramid ring a bell to anyone? During the 90s, this visual was all over school textbooks. If
Oh,
you follow this
yeah.
diet, backed up by reputable scientists and the government,
Oh yeah.
you'll have an optimized healthy kid with no health issues. But notice how there's a huge
There's also the whole pie with the food. Like what food, what portion.
emphasis on grains and carbs, where it's telling you to eat at least 6 to 11 servings a day. Uh-oh! Turns out multi-billion-dollar megacorps weren't being very ethical and might have had some influence on how this pyramid ended up looking. Cereal and bread, which is a staple in North American breakfast, tends to have some sugar in it if you're not getting the 50 ancient grain multi-fiber boost stuff. Corporations know that if you start them young, you'll have a loyal customer for life. The taste and nostalgia will be so deeply ingrained within your brain, they're gonna be ratatouilleing your every move. I still get cravings for those Scooby-Doo fruit snacks, which are basically like candy. Oh, by the way, the blue and the green are the best. Using sugar, corn syrup,
Oh my
and
god,
caffeine
that's
are
me
really
with 2 our
inexpensive ways to
heads.
get people hooked on something in a non-threatening way. Hey guys, come try our new 50-ounce caramel fudge-infused coffee for $3, endorsed by popular Gen Z influencer. And did I mention Kim Soo-hyun will also be making an appearance? Wait, Queen of Tears, what are you doing here? According to studies, you should limit your sugar intake to 26 to 40-ish grams a day to maintain a healthy lifestyle. How does one Dunkin'
Oh my
coffee
god,
drink
that's
clear that
Filipino.
threshold in a matter of minutes? If you really can't stop yourself from drinking these daily, then it's not looking good for you in the long run. The effects of added sugar intake, higher blood pressure, inflammation, weight gain, diabetes, and fatty liver disease are all linked to an increased risk for heart attack and stroke. There's a type of dopamine effect with sugar. Because whole foods like fruits and veggies don't cause the brain to release as much dopamine, your brain starts to need more and more sugar to get the same feeling of pleasure. This causes those gotta have it feelings for your after dinner ice cream that are so hard to tame. Oh my god. At the end of the day, we're all just science experiments.
I wonder who eats dessert after eating something. Oh, I think, I remember. Someone said they were like eating desserts after eating their meals. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's the sugar addiction. Sugar. Ah, you're getting the sugar rush. I don't know what
Even
I'm
those
doing.
$20 smoothies at Erewhon, the most expensive grocery store in LA, have a lot of sugar in them, with the highest one having almost 80 grams of sugar. Also, the nutrition info isn't readily available. You actually have to call corporate to get it. These drinks have gone viral plenty of times on TikTok because of how visually appealing they look. Along with their high-end price tag, it gets people talking.
I just spent $68 on smoothie.
Bitch, you just made it yourself. You just made it yourself, like Korean barbecue, bitch. But fucking smoothie. I think I have like 4 frozen fruits on the freezer. I bought them like 5 years ago or something. Well, not 5 years, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. I never used them. But that does look attractive. Like the whole thing, but wow, $68. And that's US dollars. So that's more money. Wow, that's crazy. That's like a paycheck a day. 1 day paycheck for some.
Erewhon,
Most,
let's do
I
a
think.
taste test.
There are
Most.
also a lot of articles talking about how these smoothies are very high in calories, equivalent to 3 frappuccinos. I will say, there is a difference between a smoothie with a lot of calories and sugar compared to an iced coffee with the same amount. Calories aren't bad, it just depends on the other things that come
Someone
with it. Sure,
got your
smoothies
record.
have sugar from the fruit, but at least you're getting vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Not sure if I can say the same about iced coffees
Hello,
that
an
are liquid
interested
sugar and
Ledge. I
empty
hope you're
calories.
well.
Although wait,
How are you?
I don't want to be spreading too much misinformation on the internet. That drizzle of almond milk will give you a whisper of calcium for healthy bones. You just need to drink like 100 of these to get your daily calcium requirements
I mean,
met.
you got
Moral
third.
of the story,
Like, that's
overconsumption of anything will eventually be bad for you. I've made a video on water talk before. Creators will make content on their waters of the day, where they mix different powders, syrups, and glitter to
Oh
create
my
drinkable,
god, yeah,
Final
I've
Fantasy
seen
looking
this
potions.
one.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the blueberry. Let's give that a little mixeroonie. I am going to add in my ice. You know, I need a lot. And in addition to
I don't
ice,
know.
I'm going to add in some Dazzle Dust, which is just edible glitter.
I have no,
haven't
maybe
added
they
this to
had
one of my water of the days in a long
maybe they had
time,
$2
and
and you
the
had
colors
a
will be
set
perfect for it for this one.
50.
Look at that, shining, shimmering, splendid. Almost foiled my plan. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room at the top because I want to add some cotton candy skinny syrup. This one also has some edible glitter in it.
Like,
which is
how
really
do the
cool.
bits work?
So
That
I'm
you
going
just
to
use your
pour this
credit
right
card
on
or
over the
something,
top.
right?
And then we are done. All right, here it is. This is the second
Oh my god.
galaxy-inspired water.
Oh
that
my
I've
god,
made. This
don't
one looks
give
pretty
me
darn cool, if I
more.
do say so myself.
Oh my
Let's give it a
god,
mix so I
don't.
can taste it.
Whoa, thanks uninterested ledge underscore 47 for cheering X 600
Oh my god,
bits.
now I'm worried now. Don't use your paycheck. Allah, don't waste your paycheck. Oh my god. Like, I think they're like, no, Allah, thank you, but Allah, I feel, Allah, thank you. I should be saying thank you, but oh my god, like, Allah. Ah, I know, right, big guy? That sucks. It wasn't for the bit. That sucks.
This looks like forbidden unicorn pee.
Oh,
am
am I
curious about what it
pointing
tastes
at the
like, though.
right one?
The drink, not the pee.
pointing
The
at the
majority of
right
the
one.
time, these water talk creators are using
Thank
sugar-free
you.
mixes
Oh my
and
god, thank
zero-calorie
you.
syrups. So in terms of heart health, it's probably
I
better for you.
hope I look nice on the
Who
screen.
knows? Yeah, there's technically no calories or sugar in these drinks. I don't know if we can confidently say there are zero health risks with ingesting this many artificial sweeteners every single day for years. If this type of content has become your bread and butter, where your audience expects new drinks daily, you have to keep it up if you want them to stay. Water of the day implies this is an everyday thing. It wouldn't be too surprising if 10 years down the line,
Aw.
a study comes out saying consuming all this
Thank
aspartame
you.
and sucralose
I
on the
appreciate-
daily is bad. Or maybe these people might grow an extra limb or have
Okay,
night
someone's
vision. Only time will
competitive.
tell. I mean, I guess
Someone's
this
a
is better than those
competitive
insane chocolate
capitalist.
sandwiches.
Okay.
Who is eating this?
Okay. I know. Oh. I wasn't even asking. I mean, shut up, big guy. You're not. I'm not even your favorite streamer. Your favorite streamer is what's her name? Velvet. Wow. Okay, so I didn't. Okay, so is that how you guys do this? There's a top 3 or something? How many people do you guys watch? Like, how many people do you watch? Okay, so I haven't really like watched on Twitch. Like, I've never really. Well, I lurk, but I'm doing something on the other hand, like doing other shit, like playing or something. But sometimes even that's distracting me, so I fucking close it. uh, who's your favorite though? Who's your favorite streamer? I wanna know. I wanna see. Oh, blurbs. Okay, I'll finish this. Did you send me any videos, big guy? Oh no, you didn't. Okay. Oh, by the way, you can send me videos as well. I'm not sure if you can send me videos, but yeah, I think my whisper is open to anyone. So, yeah. If you have
So if you're
anything
not
to
a video
show
game
me,
character and you
that
suddenly
includes
unlock
everyone
the
here.
insulin resistance skill, that's not good. It really is amazing what the human body can withstand. Cause some of these drinks are chemically unhinged. What do you mean I just drank a dozen donuts in 2 minutes? I'm sure
what the fuck?
If you go over the recommended sugar
Yeah.
intake every once in a while, you'll be fine. From the looks of it,
As
we're
long as
quite
it's
resilient
nothing
as a
nasty,
species.
like
If someone can drink
nothing
cups
that
of
could
sugars with a splash of coffee on the
breach
daily,
my.
then a
I don't. Yeah, that's fine. But as long as it's nothing, I mean, it could be outside YouTube, but as long as it's not something that could like get me banned or something. I'm watching you.
we treat
I check your links.
There's too many
Oh my god.
Get ready, uninterested ledge_47 redeemed a hydrate.
I'm out of water. I'm out of water. I need to get some water. Oh, but thank you. Oh my god, please use the yeah, use that. Big guy, why aren't you using your thing? I'm gonna grab some water.